back to my channel. My name is Amy if you are new here, and today I thought I would run you through all the films I've seen so far in 2024 and give you all of my thoughts, and also I am rating them. Now, I feel like these ratings are going to change depending on more films I see. I'll probably go back and adjust all of my ratings, and also I feel like sometimes films get better the more you think about them. So a couple of things I've like put a rating and then actually it's gone up or down depending on like how much I thought about it, etc, etc. But I'm going to try and not ramble too much. But I have already seen 14 films this year, 12 of which have been in the cinema and 2 of which have been at home. And I'm going to keep on trying to track them like this because I feel like it's nice to see what I've seen. Also, now I've got my unlimited card and I have had that for about 3 years, I really wanted to start monitoring like how much money I'm saving and things like that. So that's what I've been doing. For those of you who don't know what an unlimited card is, I pay monthly for the cinema. I go to Cineworld as that's my local cinema. So I believe it's $22.99 a month. It means I can basically go to any Cineworld, I think, apart from Leicester Square, and see as many films as I want to. So it's a really, really great thing. I love it. Quite a lot of my friends have similar cards for their local cinema, and yeah, so I thought I'd just run you through what I've seen. Now, I want to preface this by saying all opinions are my own, and also some things are subjective. Like some films I've liked that no one else has liked, and some films that a lot of people have liked I didn't love that much. So I thought I would kind of just run you through what I've seen. So first film of the year was called One Life. I saw this with my dad on the 9th of January and I gave this film an 8. Now, does it have the benefit that it was the first film I've seen? So it was the first rating? Potentially. But I really like this film. I'm going to try and explain the basic plot of all these films as well, but obviously if I get it wrong, then it's been a while since I've seen them. So the premise of this was, it was a photographer who'd gone to Germany in the war. No, it wasn't Germany, it was Prague. He'd gone to Prague in the war and it basically ended up saving loads of Jewish children before the war started. And then they brought him onto a BBC programme, and this is all true life. They brought him onto a BBC programme, and actually loads of people in the audience were people he'd saved or like family members of people he'd saved. So it's a really, really amazing story, and I feel like I love a true story. I feel like they're probably some of my favourite films. The acting in it was amazing, and I just really liked the whole thing. It kind of was flashing between like current day and then back in the day when he was doing all this stuff, and kind of him dealing with it and all that sort of thing, and like the guilt that came along with it but not that he should have felt guilt, but he had guilt that he didn't save more people. And yeah, it was a really good film. So I gave that a solid 8 out of 10. The next film I saw was on the 12th of January, and again, it was another real life story. This was called The Boys in the Boat. Now, I gave this a 6.5. I thought this film was really good. I did feel it was slightly slow, but I was really invested and did have a little cry. It's basically about 2 rowing teams, but mainly focuses around one, and basically it's a true life story, and they end up sending one of the teams off for the Olympics, and I feel like they're a bit of the underdogs and stuff throughout the film, so you're really cheering on for them, and it's really, really good. I enjoyed it. I gave it 6.5 because I did feel, again, it was a little bit slow, and I feel like I like my films relatively fast paced, but yeah, that was The Boys in the Boat. 6.5. Went to see that one solo. The next film I saw was on the 19th of January. That was Poor Things. This is a very artsy film. It's quite long. I saw this with my friend Emily, and I feel like Emily summed up this film really well. When we came out, she said, I feel like I was on drugs. And that is kind of what it feels like. It's very whimsical in the way it's filmed. It's sort of very, very colourful. And it is just it's like a Frankenstein kind of story about kind of coming of age. And it's really interesting. I don't want to spoil much more than that. It is very sexually graphic, so if that's something you don't like, then maybe this isn't the film for you. But this was one of the films, I didn't give it a super high rating when I first seen it, but it's gone up and up and up the more I thought about it, and I would really like to see it again. So I really liked that, and again, it's one of the ones that I just couldn't get it out of my head, and just thought it was a really interesting idea, and it was just a fun cinema evening, so you know that affects the rating. The next film I went to see was on the 25th of January, and this was Priscilla. It's about the life of Priscilla Presley. Or I say about the life, it only does kind of the first half. I must admit, when this film ended, I wanted an extra half hour. Like, I wanted to see more. I wanted to see about her life after Elvis, and you don't really get that. So I gave this a 6.5 because I feel like I enjoyed it, but I wanted to see more. Jacob Elordi as Elvis, I mean, good looking. However, the fact that she was 14 when they met and he was 24 made me feel incredibly icky, and therefore I wasn't rooting for their relationship at all the whole time, because it was just grooming and I didn't love it. So that kind of made me feel a bit icky about it. So yeah, I couldn't give it a high rating purely for that, but the acting in it was amazing, the fashion in it was amazing. But yeah, it made me feel icky, and I love a love story where it's really happy the whole way through, and that did not give me that. I'm soppy and want everyone to be happy. The next film I saw was on the 26th of January, and it was The Colour Purple. I gave this a 6.8. I thought this film was really, really good music, very, very sad, and an amazing storyline, but very emotional. I must admit, I thought I was going to be more emotional the whole way through. It was only really at the end I think I really sobbed, but it was a really like hard-hitting film, and it was good. I enjoyed it. The singing was good, the songs were good, the fashion was good. So it got a 6.8. I'm also giving this really harsh ratings, and I'm aware of that. I just think to give something a 9 is crazy. To give something an 8 is kind of crazy. Like that's a big deal. Then the next film I saw was on the 2nd of Feb, and that was Mean Girls. Now, I went into this wanting to hate it so bad. Like, I was prepared to be like, this is the worst film I've ever seen. And you know what? I gave it a 7. I thought it was really good. Now, I saw this with my 2 best friends, so again, that could affect the rating. I feel like if you see stuff with friends, it maybe affect the rating a little bit. And what has really brought this film up is that I have listened to the soundtrack to this film every single day since, like multiple times a day. It's my go-to album at the moment. I've listened to it constantly. I'm obsessed. I just absolutely loved the soundtrack, and that brought it up so many levels. So I gave it a 7. Was it cringy? Yes. Was there moments I really didn't like? Yes. But there was so much more just fun that I gave it a 7. I have seen some things which I think is really interesting about how the original movie's fashion is like long standing. Like I could still wear all of the outfits they wear in that film. However, this film, all of the outfits look like they're from Shein, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were. And that's really sad. Like I just feel like the fashion in the first one is really iconic, and I'm sad that the fashion in this one, don't get me wrong, I'd wear all of the outfits. Like I love all the outfits, but they look really, really cheap, and that makes me sad because I don't know, it's just kind of spreading that Shein cycle even more, which I don't love. But soundtrack amazing, especially Sexy. Oh my gosh, great song. I've been listening to it every day. When I'm feeling sad, that film is giving me that song is giving me a pick me up. So absolutely love it. The next film I saw was on the 4th of Feb, and that was American Fiction. This film is up for loads of awards, same with actually Poor Things. I gave it a 6. I wanted more from this film. Now, could I tell you what more is? I don't think I could. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as sad as it was. It was actually quite a lot of really sad moments. The acting in it was really good. I really like Sterling K. Brown's character and thought he was great. I thought the acting was amazing. I think he is up for a supporting actor award. I don't know why I just had really high expectations for it, and I think sometimes that if you have really high expectations then you can be let down. I didn't love the ending of it. Again, I kind of wanted a more fulfilled ending. If I'm looking outside, it is chucking it down, just putting that one out there. But yeah, I feel like I wanted slightly more from the ending, and I didn't get it, and I was kind of sad. Like I wanted more of a conclusion, and I just don't think I do well with films not having a really good conclusion, and I don't think it did. So the next film was All of Us Strangers. I saw this with my mum on the 11th of February. We saw this in a small screen. Now this affects my ratings, I feel like, as well. I don't mind a small screen, except that sometimes films I see are in a small screen, but I don't love the small screens quite as much as I like the big screens. But yeah, just picking that out there, that may have been a factor. I gave this a 6.5. This film made me sob my heart out. It was really emotional. But again, I don't know what I wanted from it. See, I'm defending these films as if I've given them a really low score. I've given them a 6.5, and that is about as toppy as you're getting with me, because I'm strict. But I really liked it. The ending confused me. Whether this was because it was like 10:30 at night, I don't know. But the ending, when I googled it, made me really, really sad. But I feel like it's one of the films that kind of up for interpretation a little bit. But I really, really liked it. But yeah, it made me really sad and emotional. It got me in the feels. It was a really good film. Kind of about like parenting like a queer child, and it was just really emotional. It got me in the feels really quite hard. But yeah, I gave it 6.5. I don't know how people are gonna feel about that. Next up is The Iron Claw. I gave this a 6.8. I feel like I'm gonna bump this up to a 7 because I feel like I love this just as much as I love Mean Girls. So The Iron Claw was really, really good. I know Hannah absolutely loved it. She's been raving about it loads. I really liked it. Again, a film I just sobbed the whole way through. Like, boy, did them wrestlers have a really, really rubbish life. Like, it was really emotional. And I went in knowing nothing. I don't know anything about wrestling. I don't know anything about the family. I felt like Zac Efron and actually all of the other actors in it were amazing. It was really emotional though. And I cried a lot. And I got really frustrated. If there's a character in it that annoys me, I get really frustrated. And the dad in this made me want to scream. Like, at some points I literally was sitting there like, what are you doing? Because, well, no spoilers, but that dad, absolutely awful. But yeah, I thought the acting in it was amazing. I thought the costumes was really cool. I really liked the sets. I just thought it was really, really good film, but made me cry. And I actually ate a donut at the start of that one. So there you go. That's the context around that one. Now, this one is my biggest controversial opinion ever. Am I going to get hate for this? Probably. Do I care? Yes, I've got a fragile ego, but you know. I'm going to preface this by saying I saw it on Valentine's Day and had a really stressful day at work, and I saw it in 4DX. Madam Web gets an 8 from me. Now, I don't care that you guys are going to be like, well, that's wrong. Because you know what? Sometimes a film doesn't have to be shot perfectly. Sometimes a film doesn't have to have great acting for me to love it. Because boy, did I really enjoy this film. Now, again, I did see this on 4DX. It was the first film I've ever seen in that experience, which, if you don't know, the seats move, there's like fans blowing wind at you, there's like strobe lighting, there's water that sprays up at you, they've also got like air things in the back of your neck and at the back of your legs, so it really does get you completely immersed in the film. When there's action, you're being thrown around with it, and that really does affect the rating of the film, I feel like, because you're so immersed, but equally you feel like you're in the action. Now, at the start, I didn't think I was going to love 4DX, mainly because I'd just eaten at McDonald's and felt kind of sick. And if you get motion sickness, I don't recommend that at all, because you probably will feel sick. But it was just so much fun, and I feel like the 4DX probably did make me love this film more, because I really felt like I was in the action. I didn't love the ending. I felt it really cringed me out at points, but it was just fun, and I just sometimes really love a fun film. You guys know I love a bit of Marvel. I know this is like Sony Marvel, but I thought it was fun, and I liked the storyline. I really liked the idea behind it. Like, I liked the idea of someone being able to see the future, but then it also kind of like affect the future. I thought that was a fun detail. I liked how you found out kind of the reasoning behind her mum's trip quite late onto the film, and I just really liked it. And I just think, to the people that hate it, fair play to you, but don't give me hate, because you know we all like different things. And I thought it was a fun time. I thought it was a fun time Friday. It wasn't a Friday, it was a Wednesday. A fun time Wednesday. Now, the next film I saw was the day after, so on the 15th of February, and that was Bob Marley's One Love. I gave this a 4.3. I didn't love this film. I didn't feel like at any point it committed to a storyline. I felt like it was quite jumpy, and I came out not really knowing anything about Bob Marley, and I went in not knowing anything, but I think I was so excited to learn about a new person. Like, I've listened to Bob Marley's music, like, I know who he is, but don't really know any more than that he was from Jamaica and that he's got really good songs, and that's all I knew about him. So I don't really feel like I learned much from it, and I felt like if they'd committed to one of the kind of 3 storylines I felt like it was going throughout, I feel like they'd just committed to one, I would have really liked it and would have got a lot more out of it. I also feel like I wanted to know more about his upbringing. The film starts quite late on in his life, and I would have liked it to start a lot earlier, just because I feel like I like to learn about the character as they're growing up rather than just here they are, they're already kind of famous. So yeah, I wanted more out of it, and it didn't help that I watched another biopic, which I'll speak about when I talk about the films I've seen from home, that I just really liked a lot more. So yeah, I felt a little bit let down by that film, if I'm honest. And yeah, that's it. I thought the acting was good. I thought the accents were really good, but I just didn't love the film. On the 19th of February, I saw a preview screening of Wicked Little Letters. That is one of the other perks you do get with your unlimited card, is that you can go and see films kind of before they come out on general release. So they have these things called unlimited screenings where only unlimited members can book, and this screen was packed. It's probably the busiest I've ever seen at a cinema. It was 7:30 on, I think, a Thursday, and it was just so busy. Now, I'd seen the trailer for Wicked Little Letters and was really excited. It looked like a really fun film. I'd seen both the clean and the explicit version of the trailer and thought it looked really, really funny. Now, it was funny, but at no point did I laugh out loud. In saying that, everyone else in the cinema was. Like, everyone was really laughing. Now, the main kind of thing that was making people laugh was the very explicit words that were being used throughout. But I said, I think maybe I'm just numb to it because all of my friends swear so much that at no point did it really make me laugh. Like, Hannah said, do you think it's just the shock value of seeing these like really, really famous actors using this really, really foul language? But I don't know, I just didn't find it that funny. I did really like how it was based on a true story, and I feel like that added a lot of extra, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this actually happened. Like, that's kind of crazy. The acting was great. I liked, again, like the set and everything felt really immersive, and like you really did feel like you were in that period of time. But I just didn't love it. And also, when I went to Google the cast, this is a side note, they didn't credit the little girl because I was trying to see, I was almost certain, in fact, I knew it was the girl from the new Matilda film, but they didn't say that on the casting on Google. And I was like, that's so strange. But yes, I did like it, but I only gave it a 6 because I didn't love it and I wanted a lot more. Oh, and my main point about this film is that all the funny bits were in the trailer. Like, the first time I ever remember this happening to me was Despicable Me. I think I was so excited to see that film as a kid, like so excited, until I realised I'd watched the trailer so many times. And actually the only funny bits were in the trailer. And that really frustrates me when that happens, like when the best bits are all just in the trailer. And I feel like it didn't help that I'd seen the advert for this film more or less every time I went to the cinema throughout February. So I'd seen all these bits so many times that when they actually came on screen, I was like, I've seen this so many times, I've already laughed at it, you know? So that didn't help. So that's all the films I've seen so far in the cinema. By the time it's uploaded, maybe I would have seen more. But for films I've seen at home, there's only 2 films I've watched at home this year. One being Saltburn. I watched this on the 17th of January and I gave this film a 4.5, and I was actually chatting to my sister about it and she really liked it, but she watched it having known what these really crazy scenes would be. Now, if you've watched the film, you'll know there's 3 quite crazy scenes in it, and by crazy they're not scary. Now, I went into this film and people were like, oh my gosh, there's some scenes in it that are gonna like blow your mind, and I was expecting them to be kind of spooky, but they weren't spooky. And I don't know, I liked the film, but I'm not gonna lie, the scenes that were kind of crazy did really catch me off guard because I didn't know what to expect, and I was a bit like, oh, like this is strange. And I felt that kind of took me out a little bit. I also don't love watching films at home. I get easily distracted. I'll sit on my phone. Like, I'm not very good at sitting and just watching a film. So yeah, I gave it 4.5. Having said that, I have thought about this film a lot and do think I'd probably watch it again. So maybe I should make it up to a higher score. I don't know. Catch me in a couple of months' time and I'll maybe run down it again, see if anything's changed. And I'll definitely do a recap at the end of the year of all the films I've seen and kind of what I thought. But finally, the final film I watched was actually on my mum's birthday, so on the 13th of February, was Bohemian Rhapsody, and I gave this a 6.5. I had not seen this film before. I know it's my sister's, one of her favourite films. I know quite a lot of my friends really, really love this film, and I really, really enjoyed it. I felt like the music was obviously really good. It made me realise how many Queen songs that like I didn't know was by them, or just kind of, I feel like when all the artists' like big songs are put in one thing. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many classics here. I thought the acting was really good and I really, really liked it. I didn't know anything about his life, but felt like I did learn stuff about his life during it, more than I did in the Bob Marley film. And again, I think this is why I didn't love the Bob Marley film, because I really, really enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody. I feel like I was quite immersed in it. It was quite late we were watching it and we all stayed awake, so that's a bonus. And yeah, I really liked it. And that is the final film I've watched so far this year. So as I said, I've seen 14 films this year and we are only we're nearing the end of Feb. But yeah, at the end of Feb, I've seen 14 films. I really want to see 52 in the cinema, which I'm sure I probably will do by the end of the year. But that's it. Let me know if you liked this kind of recap of all the films I've seen, and I'll definitely do one again another time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've seen any of these films and any of your opinions. Did you really disagree with me about Madam Web? Because everyone else is. And subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!